Oh, hello. Hitting y'all up with something a little special today. Let me grab everything I need here. Not something I typically do, but why not do some stuff a little different on stream? Hold on. There you go. And then what's up, Callie? How are you? What was that? Go here. Good area. I'm not bad. I'm doing this because I'm gonna teach. Oh well, I figured I would teach people if they're interested. Some cool stuff about tech, like stuff they're not gonna see often. I stream too much. What are you talking about? I like what I do. Alright, I throw it to PC. I have to do some repairs on something, or I don't have to, but I'm doing it as a something nice for a friend. His sister's iPod broke, and she needs me to repair it, and I said, well, okay, I can do that, but I figured if I'm gonna have to fix it anyway. No, I love teaching, or I love streaming, but I figured this would be a cool, like, kind of teach you guys how I do some stuff. You can see some tech work, some of the things that actually I can show off my degree a little bit. But yeah, I'm helping, I'll show you the two different pieces, or the two different things that I have. I'm gonna repair a iPhone. Ah, happy birthday, buddy. Yeah, wouldn't you be happy that I'm streaming? Get to see more stuff. We're gonna work on this up until normal time and then stream we're gonna be doing more Spider-Man today because I played it last night, but it wasn't a full stream. Well, I had done, what did I do before that? Oh, I was doing Fortnite, and then when Spider-Man came out, I jumped on that. So I figured I would play. A quick check. I think Tate's attention. Alright. What's up, Caden? How you doing, man? So, the story is, with this, there's an extra home button. Oh, it's down there. Okay, so still deciding. Where is it? Where's the old one? So, I've actually already fixed one for. I have a camera over here so that you guys can see a little bit what I'm doing. But this is the first screen that I got, and I had to take it off. It was pretty fucked up, so I replaced it on this iPod, and it works. Functions, but the problem with this iPod was that, let's see if I can show you guys. I might have to take everything off. Yeah, so underneath this plate here, whoop, underneath this plate is the battery, and the battery's warped on this iPod. Let's see if I can get a better angle. There we go. On this iPod. So with this one, being the now fucked up one. This is the one she was using, and she dropped it and cracked this one. So instead of trying to, the iPod, this is a 6th generation. The problem with one of these is that the batteries are soldered on. They're not like a plug. So to unsolder the battery's a bitch, and it's dangerous. Especially because this one's warped and has a potential to explode. So we don't want to do that. And when she said, "Can I fix this one?" I said I can swap this good screen on this body, and it should be okay. But I'm gonna work on everything. I figured if I'm gonna be on it, might as well teach you guys a thing or two. Let me see if I can get you guys a better angle. I feel like I've been looking at getting an overhead, like, horizontal tripod, but they're not fucking cheap. They're kind of obnoxious. But it's such a useful thing for what I've been recently wanting to do that I keep considering it. It really doesn't like that. Quick recap. Well, Drifts. I'm fixing an iPod for a friend, and I fixed one already, but then I had to fix but the battery's busted on this one. It's all warped and it could explode. So I don't want to fix it anymore. I have to solder batteries on iPods. They suck. So I'm trying to get this done by like 1:30, 2 o'clock today but I figured I would do it on stream because why not? So first things first, let's get some of the important tools I'm gonna need. Just some smaller screwdrivers, some specific stuff there. Alright, I think that's all I actually need. But I was showing, this is the original one I took off, the first iPod, the silver or gold one, and replaced it with a new one, and then this one was kind of shit. Turns out that I need to fix it. So, I need to, before I work on the new one, I gotta take this screen off the old one. I'm sorry, Macy. What's up, Macy? What's up, Drifts? Apologies. I'm trying to think. I had to go and drop off my the stuff to get my meds, and then that took too long, and then it was like it was gonna be late, and I don't want to be late because I want to get this done. So, okay. So one thing I did, here it is. I put some adhesive on here, so I gotta take that off to hold the iPod screens together. Let me move. I have the chat in a different spot than I normally do, and I can't see it as well. So apologies if like the cam's not perfect, but I figured this would be something I was doing quick. So, all right. So I gotta take some adhesive off that I stuck on. Oh, come on. Okay. So this is 1mm adhesive strips. So they're just black pieces they're double-sided tape, but they're for like tech, and they're super sticky to hold stuff together. Yes, Bill, you do know these iPods. So I'm trying to get them fixed because Trinity was like, "Hey, can I get them by 1 o'clock?" And I was like, "Or can you let me know by 1:30 if you'll have them done?" And naturally, I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I knew I'd be able to get them done today. And then it was like, "Oh shit, you know what? I had to go get my pills, and then my pills took forever." So, what do you do with batteries that are ruined? You have to dispose of them, but you got to kind of be careful because if they get punctured, they can light on fire or explode. That's what the Note 5 or Note 7s, what they were doing. Whatever Note was blown up. Yeah, it was 7s because I think there was a 6. Hey, what's up, AJ? I'm doing an IRL stream before we go live with Spider-Man later. Also, just double check. Yeah. Some size matters. Alright, so I think I got all the adhesive off that matters. Did. I might sit up. How many mods are there? There's actually less than you'd imagine. But all my friends are mods. I did that on purpose. Let's go this here. Let me quick zoom this camera out. But yeah, I figured this would be a teachable moment, so why not? Note 7s are hand grenades. Essentially. People were not fans of them blowing up. Alright. So I'm trying to do this quickly and also somewhat safely. So all this is a multi-tool that I use pretty frequently. It stores a bunch of different heads in the base so that I can, depending on the situation, have it. But in here is a specific kind of, oh, here it is, right here. This is the whole reason I bought it, was this one head right here. I don't know if it'll be able to show it. Probably not, because the focus is shit. But it's a tri-head. It's an Apple security screw you have to open up a lot of stuff. Size matters. I don't know if I said hi, but what's up? So then, to try to make my life easier, this is a magnetic tray. It just holds my screws. Hey Bill, do you know offhand if she has plans with this iPod now? I thought about that just now. Because if not, I'm not going to put it all back together. You want to try to avoid magnet tools, but you can use magnets to hold your stuff together. But just so everybody knows, because I have to do it for workman's comp stuff and whatnot, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm doing this for a friend to, and it kind of helps keep my skills up, because I don't get to work on this stuff much anymore. So the worst part is, I had this thing all put back together when I realized that there was more problems. And it took me forever to get, like, I put a decent amount of adhesive, and it took me like hours to get the screen to come off. That's my least favorite part, is having to remove screens, because it gets really fucking scary. You have to make sure that you don't crack. I mean, the old ones, it's no big deal. You can break them. Like, while I'm taking off that other one for her, I guarantee it's going to break more, but I'll show you guys a trick as to how to stay safe doing that, so you don't get shards of glass in your hands. Also, I figured I would try this, like, IRL-ish kind of streamy stuff out, because somebody had said recently that I should do some IRL streams, and I was like, well, this is IRL, this is what I would have to do anyway, so why not show off? Oh, there's one. I was like, there's something I'm missing. One thing I will also say is, if you ever want to get into this kind of stuff, honestly, just watch YouTube. It's the easiest way to first learn how to, like, test this stuff, and then if you want to learn and practice yourself, just go buy shitty iPods or stuff at, like, your local pawn shop, and see if you can fix them. Here's another one. There's two, actually. So how's everyone doing today? I'll show you guys the battery and then see. This would be good for Trinity to see, so she knows what I was talking about and why I don't want her to. I like just so you know, Trinity, the person who these belong to, this is Bill's sister, and I like hanging out with Trinity. She was always very nice to me. So when I've heard about her situation, I was like, I don't want her to get screwed over by somebody. All right, so this side is open. This might, oh, I might have adhesive that, and that's why it's, no, that corner piece. Do you know how to jailbreak phones? I've never done it, but I probably could. I mean, it's more software related, and I wasn't I went to school for both. I have a degree in both, actually. But here we go. But I would love to try it. Flex is another one. I don't think she has any plans for it, but I'll ask. Yeah, just I want to make sure, because if not, I'm not going to put it back together, and I'll dispose of it so that I don't want her to. If nothing else, I'm cutting the battery off because I don't want this fucking thing to explode. I could always cut it, and we could always try to put another battery in it, but down the line. All right, so we got all the screws out. So underneath there is the battery. I'm gonna try to get this plate off. Just gotta finagle it. Find out if there's. There you go. This note there and there. All right, so now we got our plate off. This is a heat shield. Is essentially all it is, just to protect. All right. Now I flattened out the battery a little bit, but as you can see, there's like wrinkles up on the sides. This whole thing, when I first pulled it off, or when I first did this, all these edges were peeled up, like it had kind of. This is the main area that it was holding onto. These corners or these sides were all flexed up, and I think that all the battery cells on these sides are all shot to shit, because what happened was when I would plug this in, it would charge, but it would charge really weird. It would be like 13, 45, 65, like within a minute. And then when I would unplug it, it would discharge that fast. So it would go like 60, 35, 14, and die. And it would only stay alive for about a minute, but you can't just pop these in and out. So naturally, everything's got to be a real pain in the schwanz. Now, the worst part is I have to get under all of this, because iPods are built backwards. iPhones, everything's built onto the back plate, so to fix the screen is pretty easy. It's one of the first things you have to take off, one of the first things you can replace. On iPods, everything's backwards, so everything's built onto the screen, essentially. Like, I have to take all of this off to get to the screen. So, at this point, oh, I need my spudgers, is what they're called. Bear with me, I have a very large tool bag and I have to find all my shit. I think this bag, just so when you buy repair kits, they send you usually like one of these plastic ones and a screwdriver and a suction cup. As you can see, I've done this a time or two. This metal spudger or thing that you can pop through, like you can wiggle in between screens. I use that a lot, but I put duct tape or painter's tape on one so that I didn't slice my hand open. But we need this one. I need this. I'm looking for one other tool. Literally, as I'm talking about it, here's another bag of. Here's literally what you would get. So you get like different kinds of plastic popper tools, a couple of screwdrivers, usually a suction cup, which I think is up there, and a guitar pick to get in the corners. Oh, my hat. What the hell? There's one tool I'm looking for, and I can't find it. And another one. Oh, I can throw that in the right spot. So how's everyone's day? Ow, fuck. I just stabbed my own hand. I need that. Well. I literally can't find the one tool I'm looking for. So you find it funny that more people are watching fix shit than play. It might just be the time of day. Plus, it's odd. Like, I don't normally do this. So let's throw those all in this fucking bag of tips and tricks and toys. My schedule's still the same, Mitch. It's 3 to 3, but I have to work on an iPod, so I figured I'd do it. This right here, just so people know, this is a roll of that 1mm tape I was talking about. Budget tool. This will work. So this is a plastic one. I'm gonna use plastic. It's a little fucked up on the end just because I snapped off some pieces. But you can use tools like this to pop like batteries off and stuff. So to be safe, that's what we're gonna use. Because I really don't want to light on fire. So as you can see, it's kind of pliable here. The battery, it shouldn't be this like pliable that it's already bending. The battery itself should hold firmly. Go. Now, normally it would not be that easy to get the battery out itself because I'm gonna try to show it. It's a little pain in the ass, but that adhesive there, it would hold true to that pretty well. As you can see, it's really sticky still. But my wife will always need fixing. Bought her a new iPhone 6 2 weeks ago. Water damage. Mom gave her a used iPhone 6. Jesus, grits. Well, welcome to the stream, but. Send them out here to TGS Repair. So we'll take that plate off. I'm trying to do all this by memory. Honestly, it does help. It does help sometimes to keep an eye out and get a watch YouTube videos of like breakdowns and stuff. That way you can see it fairly. Sorry if you can't see my face all the time, but I gotta watch what I'm doing. I want to make sure this is done right and safely. This part freaks me out. I always hate doing batteries because I watch a lot of people that'll. An easier way to get batteries out is to hit them with a heat gun, because it'll. And they say to do it with everything. Use a heat gun, and it'll make the adhesive more pliable. But when you use a heat gun, you can also warp and damage the motherboards, as well as overheat something and fry it. So I don't want to kill anything on here, because that would be very bad. Alright, so we got this motherboard up. Oh. I also think it's funny that sometimes people think there's a lot more to this tech than there is in how to repair. Let's see. I need this screen as in perfect shape as possible, so I gotta find out what it's still stuck to. Oh, alright, so it's still stuck because of the bottom plate, which we have to remove as well. So we grab this guy. Mitch, what's got you working so late, by the way? Also, give me a heads up if the audio is okay, because, you know, audio. Oops. Okay, I can even tell you what some of these parts are. So that right there, maybe I should zoom in so you guys can see. Here, and then video capture device configure. There we go. It's kind of grainy though. I don't like that. Maybe a little better. But this little piece here, this is a battery. So once I get this battery off, or it's a speaker, not a battery. I apologize. Speaker. I'm gonna remove the charge port. Charge ports go bad on these pretty frequently as well. It's easy to just replace them. Typically. But I 1000% tell you, there's little things that you can do that'll make your life easier if you ever decide to do repairs like this. Definitely get a magnetic tray. They're fucking dirt cheap. I've never paid more. I think I got this one for free, actually, when I went and bought them some supplies. So definitely consider picking them up. I'm gonna try to. This is over here. No, it's still Phillips head. This is a. Actually, I might have freed up when I need to. Hold on 1 second. Let's. Speakers back. No, I guess I have to. I have to take the headphone jack on this, which anything nowadays on Apple products, I don't think they even make them. Basically, our contractor, since you want to mess up recently because of the turnovers in between another person myself was training them, is they work Pacific time and at night, so that's why I'm up. I got you. Also, there's some little things that you should probably grab if you're going to do work like this. An anti-static mat is very useful. What else is anti-static cables, which I do have one. It means you take, it's a little clip and a wristband. You put the wristband and it's got a cable. I guess this is stay on. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about it. Anyway. But it'll be a wristband, and then it'll have a little piece of metal that touches your skin, then a cable that wraps out to a alligator clip, which is like a little, and then you're supposed to attach it to the device itself, and in doing that, you'll never accidentally electrically charge and shock the device. So then there's a screw underneath here. The worst part, in my opinion, of doing these repairs on iPods is putting the cameras back on. Almost 9 times out of 10 when I do them, they're always fucking not on straight, and I have to keep fixing it. It may go on for a few weeks. Not a ton, but a decent amount. Jesus. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Hold on, let's find the screw. Okay. Remember this part. I gotta pop this antenna off. I was gonna say, I also have a tendency to lose fucking spudgers and bullshit like this to pop stuff frequently. That is the official term, by the way. I'm not just making up a random word calling it a spudger. That is what they are called. Okay, then down here there's, I don't know, this is gonna be a little hard to show. I don't want to fuck up the screen. Right here are 3 different ribbon cable. You have to pop the little connector pieces off. There we go. So now we have the back plate, which I think all we have left is, yeah, here's a camera for the back camera, and I think this is a wireless antenna up here. So I'm sorry it doesn't like focus well, but that's the back camera right there. little tiny gizmo there, and that ribbon cable attaches to the screen to help you get that. This is probably just another back antenna piece, and then this is I think the official one. Alright, so we don't need this anymore. That's done. Alright, now we have to separate this battery, which is warped as shit. Now for this, first and foremost, I need to take this camera off. Flip everything over here quick. Unattach this ribbon cable, and there we go. Screen's off. Alright, so we got our screen loose right here. Everything's back to normal. Everything else here, I could fix this iPod. This one here, if I could, I believe it's underneath this, and I don't want to take it off just to show it really, unless I know what if I'm going to fix it or not. But as you can see there, this is a good example of where it's warped. You can see how it's all crippled and crunched up. That just shows how the battery itself got damaged in, it started to warp it. And then it looks a little crushed because I had to smush it all back in to make it fit when we were trying to see if, I wanted to see if the battery itself was okay, but hopefully this other one is not damaged so that we don't have an issue again. But as of now, we do not need any of that stuff there. We got what we needed. We got the good screen off. So half the job is done. Now the part that freaks me out. I hate doing this part. It stresses me out because you have to... Oh, I don't need this backplate either. I have to avoid a lot of the internal parts that I have to make sure I don't hurt. Because we do have to use the majority of this phone. The only thing we're taking off is this plate. And I gotta save the I normally would have to... No, I do, because the colors are different. You have to save the home button. Because the home button should be okay. Yeah, home button's still clicky. The case itself seems to be okay. A lot of times you'll get them and they're warped. So it's kind of minor damage. I know what happened to it. It was dropped on a tile floor without a case on it. It now has a case, but obviously, you know, that's not going to help us in the current situation. So I got to get all the broken shit off quick. So I'm going to do a couple of things first. Fell asleep on stream for a bit, sorry. What time is it for you, Drifts? Oh. Don't need anything too fancy, but I will need a knife. Alright. So this is how you avoid... If I try to take this off as is with the broken pieces here, all this is going to do is keep shattering and cutting your hand, and it really hurts. I have done it. And this already is sharp itself. So what we're going to do, trick of the trade, I'll teach you. I'm going to take some take some tape. We're going to put it straight across the front. Then, obviously, you're going to cut your tape. And use it for later. Just finished school early, so I was tired. Oh, well, fuck you, Drifts. Then don't watch it if you don't like it. I thought this was... You were one of the people that said you should do these. Well, whatever. Then go ahead, go do whatever until 3 o'clock when I go live with games. I was doing it to try to teach you guys something. If you don't want it, then I'll just go do it by myself. Find where I put the... So I need this. This is the broken screen, Mitch. So I don't care about this one. I'm about to probably crack and break most of the shit on here, but it holds all of the glass attached to the broken screen. The good screen's right here. So we're gonna need a couple of things here that'll make life really easy. Do I have any extras? I do. So I don't need this bag anymore. If you don't want to watch it, then I'm just going to turn it off, and I'll go back to doing it by myself. I thought it would be something cool that you guys could learn, maybe how shit works and how it fixes, but, you know, if you don't like it, and nobody wants to watch it, I'll just go back to working on it myself. So, where's the back plate? I want to check something. Size matters. Well, I appreciate it. So I needed to just see where I have to avoid cables as to not damage the internals. So this would lay about here. It gives me normally you wouldn't have this kind of stuff to look at, so I've had it for a long time, Drift. Alright, so I need to avoid here. This is the part that, like, alright, so this is the here's a side-by-side comparison of what we're about to do. So this side here, this is the bottom piece, this is the top. I need to get the bottom freed up first, but as you can see there's a lot of tech in here. So there's speaker, there's the USB port, there's the headphone jack. I have to avoid cutting into any of this or it's gonna fuck up this iPod, and we need the internals from this. We don't need it from this. Now the upside is I should be able to use parts off of this if something were to happen or this is damaged on the inside. Hey, what's up, Division? Taking one out of your playbook and doing an IRL sort of thing. Try to teach some guys some stuff that this is what I used to do, is fix stuff. I'm helping out a friend, my buddy, one of my best friend's sisters. So I have to avoid cutting into any of that stuff because these are the same model, or These are iPod 6th generation, so all the internals are the same. So what's best is to go up the sides. Now, granted, this one shattered on both sides at that corner, so it is going to break and it is going to fragment, and it's going to be a pain in the dick, but we're going to see what we can do. So, like I said, a lot of people will heat this up. It would make it easier. I will say that. It will make it 1,000 times easier to get this plate off, but I have always been against the idea of heating up any sort of tech because it can warp motherboards, it can damage the tech inside, and if you're reusing parts, if you're replacing it, the whole thing, or like the internals, it'd be different. If we were looking to change out, like, I don't know, a fucking like motherboard, who gives a shit? You're gonna have to replace it. And I always replace batteries if it's an easy battery repair, because it always is good to refresh a battery. And the downside, like I said, these are soldered on, and soldered on batteries I don't like to fuck with because I don't solder much. So we're going to, like I said, this is a metal spudger tool. It's super thin. It's used to go in between stuff, but they never send them with any protection, so I just put painter's tape around the handle so that I don't cut my hand, because these things do fucking hurt. You have to put in a decent amount of effort too. So we're gonna try to work our way in. I'm also gonna try my best not to fuck up any of the color on the side of the iPod. I have done, back in the day I did some notes and stuff like that. Oh, that was a message for me. No, it's just something else. Let me see. Bill sent me a message. Hey! For those of you that give a shit, Billy Fike just went out and got his Spider-Man PS4 Pro. Nice, dude. I can't wait for you to get to try that shit out. You're gonna lose your fucking mind. Especially in 4K. And the game's good so far. I've got into it. I'm gonna be playing it at 3 o'clock. But I really did want to try to get this ready for your sister, but I only have like an hour and a half to let her know. And this is my least favorite part. This tape's a little too far down. Well, whatever. I don't know, I think it's fun. I was playing it last night and had a good time with it. I'm trying to get into this at some angle, but it is fucking fighting me. Which, sometimes when these crack like this, it'll put pressure on the sides of the case, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to get things in between. Plus, obviously, they're not designed to have things shoved in between them to try to fix it. It's designed to keep stuff out. So, it's not necessarily the easiest thing. But once you get in between it, worked in somewhere, deciding it might be worth it to crack some of the glass out of the way so I can get underneath it a little easier. Because this is really fucking tight. And I really don't want to throw heat on it. I can, but it'll make me uncomfortable to superheat these. I don't know. I thought it looks great in 4K. Come on, fucking whore. This is, like I said, out of all of the repair parts of, like, tech, this is my least favorite part. There we go. Yeah, they always do that, except on The Witcher 3 it was actually upgraded. So what's happening? Cringed. I'm teaching people how to fix iPods, and well, this is what I'm currently working on, is an iPod. But I'm teaching people how to do stuff in a sort of IRL fashion. Live stream, because why not? I had to fix it anyway, and I thought you guys might enjoy learning some cool tech info. So as you can see, I've worked, man, I really wish this camera was, I should have done it the other way and had the 4K be this webcam. I'm sorry about that. Maybe next time I can do that. But as you can see, I've worked it in. It's lifting the screen up. So things that I recommend then is if you can get it worked up enough. I am on one of the broken parts of the screen. Intentionally. It makes it easier to flex. I take things like, they give or you can get like cheap plastic guitar picks. You can also get a little tool that makes these. You can pop any like card or something, and then you stick it underneath the screen in place of the metal tool, and then you pull the metal tool out, because plastic obviously is going to do less damage to a device than the metal will. So as you can see, I got the plastic, I got it underneath, and I popped up the screen. Well, and that was my theory, Jers, was teaching people how I do this stuff. Might be interesting, and if anybody's ever interested in, I like to see what's underneath tech. So like, I like doing this. Plus I like teaching. So one big downside, though, like we were talking about, as you can see, it shattered the screen earlier, or obviously that's why we're repairing it. So there's pieces of glass that are still stuck down. That's stuck to adhesive that we're going to have to get out then. But first, let's get as much of the edges pried up as possible without damaging any internal hardware. Going to make it around this corner. And then we'll grab another one because there's a little lip here we have to get past. There we go. That actually might have popped the whole screen, which is really good. Oh, shit. Yeah, you want to do your best not to let the plastic get out from underneath you, because then you're at the mercy of if you can get it back under. Okay. So we're almost there. This part, you just want to be as slow and steady, because you don't want to push yourself and break anything. Because then you're... if this is your business, then it cuts into your profits. Like I said, again, for the sake of workman's comp and all those people, if they were watching, I'm not making any money off this. I'm just trying to, I'm doing this for a friend and keeping up my my skills so that if one day I get to go back to work, I'm not completely useless. Alright, so we got the screen up. Oh, let me get this last pieces of like the framing. It has separated from the, there it is. There we go. So nice. We got the old screen off. Now, unfortunately, like I said, everything's built on backwards. So we got to literally pull all the guts out to put all the shit back on. All right, cringed. Like I said, I'll be on at 3 for the normal stuff for Spider-Man today. So let's pull this glass pieces off that are still stuck to the device. If you have really shattered on screens, this part also can be really tedious. I'll tell you this, if you ever need to fix a broken screen, do not ever buy just the glass. When you're going to order it, buy a glass and digitizer. You will pay a lot more. In most cases. Sometimes you can get them cheap. Both of them. But to do just the glass repair, it never works. Like, it never, you can do it just to say you've done it, but it never works in the sense of function correctly. Or look right. It'll always look fucked up, so. Are you not allowed to work by law? Yes, I am currently not allowed to work. Well, I'm not allowed to work by workman's comp law, currently. Eventually, I'm allowed to work, but I'm only allowed to make a certain amount of money a month because I'm legally disabled per the United States. So let's try to put these glass shards in somewhere so that I don't fucking run my hand over it later and cut my hand because I will be pissed. Got it. Okay, so that's all fixed, or that's all separated now. I don't know what she wants to do with this iPod, so I don't want to, like, shuck all of these screws, but I definitely need room in this tray. We're just going to have to risk it for the biscuit later and try to reassemble correctly. Alright, now, there's sometimes you can get mats that'll make this part really easy where you can take the screws off of this and put them on the mat where they're supposed to go so that later on it's easy. I don't have one of them, so I just stick them in my tray a specific way to try to remember in what order they are supposed to reattach. So I try to line them up in the tray in the order in which I'm taking them off. This has not always worked. Sometimes it has fucked me, but can you get gifted money by a family member or girlfriend? You mean, like, could I make money doing this? Not legally. And that's why I don't do it. I still do this because of 2 reasons. One, I tend to feel like if you're a friend of mine, I don't want you to pay 3 times as much to get something done. All I ever charge people is whatever it costs for the parts. If they buy the parts, I don't care. If anything, I just hope maybe they can help me out later with something. Like if I would need them to go pick up something for me or take me somewhere or whatever. Sometimes I do it just because. Like, Trinity doesn't owe me anything from doing this. They've offered. They don't care. I'm just doing it because. Like, she would have to pay so much more to get this fixed by anyone else. Well, first off, I'm not charging her, but like, if I was to really charge somebody for this, it really depends. It's not like the easiest way to make money. Like, most companies that require you to do this kind of work, it's like $200, and that sounds like a lot, and a lot of people get really mad about that. But if I'm being honest, you're barely making money when you do that for the amount of time and effort, unless you have professionals that do this literally every day and that's all they do. You make no money. The screens themselves sometimes are cheap. This one was, I think, $50 when I grabbed it. You also have to make sure that you're getting genuine parts, because sometimes you get knockoffs. Knockoffs are not necessarily bad. They'll save you money, but they don't look as nice. Like, I fixed some Samsung devices for people, and they wanted to save money, so I was like, look, you can get a cheaper non-OLED screen. You can just get like a standard LCD. It's not going to look as pretty, but it'll still function. And they said, yeah. So like, they took the risk of buying a cheaper knockoff that doesn't look as pretty because they didn't care about that. The value proposition wasn't there for them. So now this plate should come. Oh, nope. I missed one here. There we go. Right. Oh, that is one that's attached. I didn't know if that one was. OLED, I forget the exact definition of OLED. It's a brighter LED is what it is, essentially. Keep that all separate. Okay. But LG devices usually come with OLED, and now Samsung does. They're really nice. It's a much nicer panel. Okay. So, let's see. Let's check our battery. Well, as you can see, the battery itself is flat, which is good. However, it is showing what looks like some wear on the outside, which does make me a smidge bit nervous. It's making me legitimately consider heating it to get it off, because it looks like the battery itself might have been wearing thin due to a heat, because there's a heat, like, burn mark where that is. I gotta decide what I want to do here. Because I don't want this to cause any more issue, and I don't want it to obviously blow up. We have to get under this plate. I don't know how, like, if it were me, I'd want to replace this battery, but as I said, you have to solder the board, and that makes me uncomfortable. Having to solder a battery, especially, considering I'd have to solder off, take the battery off, and then I'd have to put a new battery on, and with how delicate these devices are, I would be very nervous as to I'd be nervous as to putting it all back together there. But okay. This is a lot harder too since I got hurt. I'm a lot shakier than I used to be. And I hate that because I used to be like really soft-handed. But now I can see it when I'm trying to just show you guys stuff, how my hands are like all over the place. Alright. Balls. Trying to see if I could get it pried up enough. If I could pop everything I need to without taking the battery off. I'm trying to pop the antenna off right now, which basically I'm working as a attendant. You're always looking down. I know, but it's so that I can look at you guys when I'm talking. Better than only having one up. Antenna's disconnected, which is good. We don't need that on. I might be able to pop all of this off. The only thing is reattaching it then would be problematic, or it might be harder. But the less we have to fuck with that battery, the better. Disconnected, disconnected, disconnected. I might have did it. Let's see. Alright, separate the camera because we don't need that attached to this screen, or we gotta take it off anyway. Gotta take off the adhesive for the ribbon cables. Hold on a second, and oh, I missed one. Got it. Whew. Okay, so battery has stayed intact. I haven't had to fuck with it yet. Old screen is off. This is where things are gonna get tricky. So now I gotta rework everything back on. Oh man. I'm not saying it's perfect or the stream is figured out, but I think it's still kind of cool. You guys are getting to see something that I don't see many other YouTubers doing, which is showing you guys and teaching you guys things. Like, it might teach you or get you interested in the idea of doing this line of work, which I will say is not easy. Like, this is not an easy job or easy thing to work on. I remember when I was in school, we had to do a report on like you had to go and find someone who was doing your job in your field, and you had to have an interview with them. And when I talked to the guy, I said, "What?" My advice to him was, "What kind of advice can you give me?" And he said that I was never going to be able to do this kind of work. He said, "You better find a new job career because your hands are too big." And he's like, you'll never be. He showed me one of Apple's smallest screws. It came out of an iPad at the time, I think. And I remember how much that sucked hearing that he was like, well, everything that you've wanted to do for like, and that you've been training for, yeah, you can't do that anymore. Like, you shouldn't. It'll never work for you, kid. You know what I mean? Like the stereotypical story of telling me not to. I'm gonna also try to show you guys something quick while I'm at it. I don't know if you can see these. I wish it would focus. Come on. Fuck. Alright, these little tiny, they're just like flat ribbon cables. Very thin ribbon cable, that's what it's called that. But you have these adapters, all you have to do is clip them together, but they're like a real fucking bitch. And there's no easy way of doing it. It's kind of just like keep pushing on it until it clicks. But I just want to show you that. But I still remember when he told me that, like, how much that hurt. And when I went into school, my teacher was like, she had asked, like, how was everybody's interview? And I said, I don't know how I feel. She said, why? And I told her, and she's like, I want you to go find somebody else to interview. She's like, nobody should ever tell you no, like, or that you can't do something. I will admit, it is hard with I used to have really, really fat fingers. I don't anymore, but it still isn't easy. And working on these things is a real pain in the ass sometimes, but... Alright, see? Here we go. We got one on. Oh, and it popped off. So it wasn't on securely. Which I don't mind. I'd rather it pop off now than, you know, in multiple hours. This is actually a little easier talking to people while I'm doing it. Because when I do this by myself, I can even just get angry because shit doesn't work. And then I'm like, don't want to do it. Come on. I'm trying to give you guys the best look of what I'm doing, but it's a little hard just because the camera I'm using doesn't... the tripod I'm trying to use does not function as well. Sometimes it's literally you're just like a smidge bit off, like it just won't fit. Oh, that one's on. Okay. Then that means that this is the next one. Find this oddly satisfying. What's up, Piper? I just think it's cool that I can show you guys something. I mean, I'm sorry that the camera, I don't have like perfect setups and stuff like that for this tech. This was just an idea I had today when I was like, well, I'm gonna have to work on this. I might as well have you guys here so I can talk to you and maybe teach you guys a thing or two, or if you have questions about how this stuff works or you're interested in this kind of work and have questions, I can tell you as I'm someone who has done it or does it technically still a little bit. I do it more to just keep up with my... Like, if you don't do this stuff for a long time, you'll forget how any of it works. Or, like, the order of things. I'll take off my glasses for a minute. They help me, see a little easier. Now, again, I'm trying to... Because I'm a little nervous about this battery... It looks like it might have some issue. I don't want to push my luck and move it. And in doing so, damage the battery. That's why I'm doing it where I'm like trying to work around pulling it out. So if I can get this all reattached without having to separate the battery from the body, it will make life easier for us. If not, I'm gonna have to be super, super careful, and I'm starting to think I might end up having to do it, because this is becoming increasingly problematic, and I'm on the easier ones. I'm not even on the hardest stuff where, like, some of these lines are behind, and I can't get my hands in them, but it's not like I really have much of a... Are you shitting me? Did I really just get that first try? Son of a bitch. You're shitting me. I got the two hardest ones, like, first try. Doing it a weird, slightly weird way. It looks like they are fully in. I can do it. Thanks, Bill. It's just surprising. I was like the one that I really, or the two that I thought were gonna fuck me the most, worked out really well there. Alright, so this has to bend this way. And this, I like want to try to do it this fucking special way. If not, I'm gonna have to change the battery, or take the battery out, but this one's a little bit harder for me to do and a little scarier. I don't know if I want to use that because I'd have to push on the ribbon cable to make that attach, and I don't like that idea. So I got one more cable to connect the screen, and then, so I don't know, I'll try to show you guys here. I gotta take this cable here, this little ribbon cable here, right there. I have to connect this to the screen. I have to reconnect this camera onto the front screen and reconnect the antenna, and then boot this bitch up. So the reason, by the way, that I'm like a little farther away from the camera for you to see is I need the light. And the light is shining over here for me. I could move it, but overall, this is going way better than I expected. But so let's get this. As like the other cables were a lot easier to connect there, due to the fact that they were already like lined up. There wasn't any, I have to bend a ribbon cable on this one, which is okay, like you can bend them, but I have to have it bent to attach, and it's not as easy. No, like naturally this isn't like a thing that you can just like, ah, it's no big deal, like you don't need this part, or like it wouldn't, if you like miss a screw or something, sometimes it doesn't matter, because it's like at a point that it isn't as important. But right here is like, this is what powers the screen. I can't fucking not get this cable to connect. Oops. Alright, come on, yeah. Yeah, bitch. Take this guy. So what's going on in chat? What are you guys all up to? In the middle of a Friday. Late Friday, maybe. Alright. I feel like this part's gonna... I don't want to get held up on a spot for too long because I'll just end up getting frustrated, so I might end up just flexing this battery quick. I'm thinking about taking... I have another one of these. And I'm thinking about wrapping a whole one with like one thin layer of tape so that it's not a sharp edge, and then trying to work underneath. Because I don't want to puncture anything. Like I could try to use a plastic one, but I don't... Do we have anything in here? I just thought of a really weird idea that might work. Hey Mom, do we have any floss? Yeah. Can you grab it for me? I want to try something.
Yeah, but it's probably got stuff on it.
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking, if this works out in my head the way that it should, I think I can floss underneath the battery, which shouldn't flex the battery itself, but it should separate the adhesive. We're gonna try it at least. Thank you. If I pull it on a specific angle as to not flex the wrong way. Alright. So, I need the battery to come up. I also need to get this floss underneath, so first off. Okay. Oh, nobody answered how their day or what they're up to. Alright, this floss just got fucked up. I don't want to use stuff that's like frayed, because I want it to be, I don't know, I want it to be stiff. I think this idea still works. Alright, let's take this. We gotta pack it underneath. It's my theory that my big thing is I don't want to put any pressure on the battery that might cause any issue, especially because we don't know if it's okay or not. Especially with the burn marks, it makes me a little uncomfortable. But there ain't much I can do. I'm gonna take it. Alright, I got one side in. Which I almost want to just pull, but like I want to get, if I can do it right, I want it, the whole thing to be underneath.
I have thread too.
Oh, thread might work too, but this might work because it should have wax on it.
It does have wax.
Yeah, so that should help it get through the, or slide a little better. I don't understand. It keeps like splitting the thread on the one side. It did it twice on the same spot, but we're gonna fucking try it. Alright. So I'll slide it over so you guys can see my plan. See if it works. So take it. You can feel it going up through the adhesive. I'll take it up this side. I'm like trying to I don't have enough fingers to do, or enough like, can't hold the angles I need. Maybe I need more floss to do it how I have it in my head. I have it halfway. I can feel like the thread or the floss. Come on. I just broke my thread, or my floss. Let me see if that... I don't want to push too hard. Let's go at it. Try this one more time. If this doesn't work, then maybe I'll try some thread, and if that doesn't work, then maybe I just go for it and push, try to pry it with a pry tool. I just get nervous about using pry tools. Here we go. Now we got a fuckload of it, so I should be able to keep a hold. Damn it, I have it like almost all the way up too, which makes me so salty about this. Like, we're so close, we have it almost off. Let me see if I can get it to flex enough now that I would feel comfortable pushing. Nope, don't push too hard. It definitely helped because I can feel like where the adhesive is freed up. Hey, what's up, Uzi? How you doing, man? I'm doing a little IRL stuff before we go live at 3. I had to fix an iPod for a friend's sister, so I figured I'd show it off on stream because I know how to fix this, and maybe if people are interested in learning how to do this work, they would find it fun, or at least interesting, if nothing else. Wait, try this. I got most of it up. Now I need it to... I need to get, I need to, like, flex it up enough. There you go. How you doing, Uzi? What are you up to today? Like, there's definitely no adhesive anymore attaching it at the bottom of the battery, but now it's just trying to get it, like, and it looks like most of the right side is also freed up. Got my finger like completely losing circulation, but I'm trying to get it up to the point where I feel like I can stick something underneath and it won't flex that battery and damage anything. Oop. Popped out of its side. So this bottom right side is really loose. There we go. Oop. Yeah. Nobody's talking. What's up? You gotta keep me company, right? This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is just supposed to be some, like, a hangout time where we can all just talk, too. I'm not... It's more of like a hangout session. Normally I would do something like this in the Discord, but it's like, why not just fucking do it here? Hey, what's up, Collie? Don't be too disappointed if you're looking for a game today. We are streaming a game today. This is an early bonus stream. I figured I had to do this work today anyway to help out. It's not work, but I'm trying to help out a friend. His one of my best friend's sister's iPod's screen broke, and I'm trying to help repair it. But I'm trying to get this battery out. It looks like it might have some surface damage, and I don't want to take the risk of flexing it at all. So I'm trying to take the battery off by using floss underneath it to get the adhesive free. I've never tried this before, and it actually is working decently. I'm just up to like where I guess where the adhesive really is holding, and I need just a little bit more and it'll free up. I think I got the whole left side decently up here. It's the right. I think I got it. Yo, 100%. I mean, it took a little bit of time, but to prepare, or just to make sure that the battery itself isn't damaged, 1000% love that idea. I've never tried that before, and it should have saved the adhesive for later. Oh, hold on, we're almost there, I guess. Looks okay. I won't fix it too much. Hold on a second, let me get this floss out now. Jesus Christ, I cannot believe that worked. I don't know why I've never thought about trying that though. That saved like, it didn't save a lot of time, but it definitely saved the battery from having any more issues. But I can stick this one underneath this. Trying to flex off this without crushing the corner. It's got a little bit, like, I just gotta like slowly peel away at this adhesive. So using plastic is okay because it's a lot less likely to do damage to the physical hardware. So close. Still trying to show you guys like the most of what I'm doing. Sometimes you gotta put a little bit more force into stuff than I'd like to admit though, which stresses me out. Got it. Nice. Okay, so the upside is now I should be able to connect all that stuff I was having trouble with a lot fucking easier. And I was securely checking that. Okay, and this goes. I gotta get this one ribbon cable reconnected, the antenna reconnected, the camera back in its slot. That one, that's annoying versus like hard. It's just obnoxious because it doesn't ever want to stay. Come on, you bitch. Got it. Alright, ribbon cables on. Let's reconnect the antenna quick. Where's my... There. How did I learn to do this? I went to college for this. Collie dog. But, to fix small stuff like this, I just learned on the internet. Is where I first started. And then I have a lot of training in how to build computers and stuff. So I'd always wondered how hard it was to fix like a broken screen. So I went online one day and I was like, well, I'm bored. So I just sat there like for when I got injured. It's a big time. But I spent like 12 hours just watching videos of like how to repair. And then I was like, all right, let me try it. So I ended up, I don't remember what my first one was. It might have been the phone. But I just went on. Somebody said they needed their stuff fixed. I said I would fix it for them for cheap. This is back when I was allowed to make money doing this. I can't do it right now because of my injury, but fucking I hate antenna cables. And they said sure, and I did the work on the. Oh, it was a Note. That was it. I remember. I worked on a Samsung Note 5, I think, or a Note 4 for someone, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. It was fucking horrible. The damn thing never wanted to work. The back panel of a Samsung is, or the back of the phone is all glass, and I cracked it, so I had to buy a new back panel 4 subs ago. Oh, I didn't even look, man. I don't even have a soda out here. You can tell I'm like in it because I haven't had a fucking drink the whole time I've been doing this. Alright, yeah, this is my one of my least favorite parts is I now have to reattach the camera. And there's no adhesive there, so I have to like make adhesive strips out of my like specifics up. This is satisfying to me to do this more often. Thank you. Considering people say, or Drift said earlier that he thought this was boring. This is literally what I used to do for a living every day. Yeah, so I learned how to make this stuff. Or learned how to fix it, and then I was like, well, I might as well teach. I was thinking today, I'm like, I'm gonna be doing it. I can sit here, I can talk to you guys, I can tell you about it. I know my camera setup for this is kind of shitty. I'm just trying to learn. And if it was good and people enjoyed it for like a little bonus thing, if I ever have work to do on like somebody else's iPod, or, you know, if something breaks or something, I can always do little streams about it. Or, you know, if I just have stuff laying around that I can work on, I'll be like, hey, you guys want me to teach you how to make, or how to fix this? Like, I have to, whenever I fix computers and stuff, it's fun. I am potentially having to build a computer soon. If I have to build one, I'll show it. And what's up, Sea-Dog, by the way? How you doing, man? Alright, so let's take... There's definitely more professional cutting tools. I'm using a shitty... Well, not shitty, but a cheap knife. To cut my tape here. This is 1mm tape adhesive. It's double-sided tape. It's used for tech, in phones and stuff. Just a heads up for those of you that missed that earlier when I was talking about it. There we go. I've been streaming lately. College and basic training for the Air Force is so busy for me. Lucky I have time off and can finally watch. Well, man, I'm very thankful that you're at least busy for a good reason, not doing something stupid. So thank you, and I'm proud of you to hear that you are joining the Air Force. One of my best friends is currently leaving the Air Force relatively soon, and he loves the Air Force. So I can tell you, and my dad was in the Air Force too, which is cool. My dad was a mechanic in the Air Force. Alright, so now we get it. I hate this tape. I really do. Like, it sucks to use. It never wants to fucking separate the back, like, paper. There we go. And this black tape, it's really thin, but it's super sticky, and it's kind of like really, you can move it around a lot. So like I'll take a chunk of it like I just did, and then I'm gonna take it and try to finagle it around, because I gotta leave. I can't, where I have it, I can't use it, or like it'll cover up the camera, so we gotta move it. But we're trying to get it around the lens. But in enough that it'll hold the camera in place. I lose shit all the time, by the way, when I do this, even when it's right in front of me. Like, that was sitting right here, and I looked everywhere for it. Like, where is it? Alright, we'll cut another piece off quick. Where's that? The actual top? It is. Don't need a ton for this one. I have a ton of this tape, though. Like, a lot of it. I bought, like, 20 feet or 20 meters of it or something, like, ridiculous, so that I could have a fuckload for doing, I forget what job I was doing. I was, like, working on a lot of phones for a while. Busted screens and stuff, which, if I'm being honest, this is, like, my least favorite thing to fix, is phones and iPods and stuff. I don't find it all that interesting, and they're really bitchy. Like, they're such a fucking niche issue. But that being said, I will always do it for the right person, and like, this is my buddy's sister. So, I absolutely jumped all over helping. Like I said, I do apologize that the camera is not perfect for this job, or for this stream. I'm doing the best I can with what I have. I have been looking at doing a horizontal tripod, but they're not actually as cheap as I would imagine they would have been. I really did imagine it to be maybe like 50 bucks, 30 bucks, or like 100 to 200 bucks. Sorry, my pincher, whatever these things are called. I keep wanting to call it a pincher, but that's not what it's called. Right here, this is. Let's see if I can get it to fit in there and still hold its spot. Alright, so camera is remounted and looks to be safe. Battery is back in, screen is attached in all 4 places. So this is what we do next. Is that camera good? Camera's like my I wouldn't say it's like my, oh, it's my least favorite, but like there's some stuff in here that I fucking hate to do. Alright, so for the most part we are set to try it. Wait, where's the old screen? Here. Right? Yeah, we gotta pull off the home button. I left it taped on. I sometimes do that. Oh! Shit, I just launched a piece of glass at me. I'm not professional in any way. When I do this, like, I'm doing this off my fucking mouse pad on my little desk thing that we use for the stream, but I hope that you guys are enjoying it. I'm sorry if it's boring. I don't mean it to be. If it is, I know Drifts earlier said it was, but I really thought that today this might be something cool that you guys might be into. It's not every day you get taught how to like fix tech and shit. And I literally had to go to college for this. Like, I had 5 years in college. 2 different degrees. They're not like great fancy degrees or something, but I do have 2 degrees in this field. Why won't this come off? This is like the first time I've had a home button not want to just like separate. Oh, interesting. It's like they have a taped on gasket. I've never seen one that was taped on. It's not boring to you? Kali, have you ever fixed any of your own tech? Like broken stuff? Opened up a controller or something? I used to do that. That opening up controllers was like my least beneficial thing I've ever done. Every time I've opened them up, I always fuck them up. Like consistently, and I own that. I've broken more than I've fixed when it comes to controllers. I'd love to fix... I have one of Tay's I've been trying to work on. There we go. Home button reattached. Home button, by the way, is literally just a piece of like plastic. Now, you've never done it? Is it something you've ever been interested in trying out? Alright, I have to clean off this desk a little bit because I need a cable. I have to grab my charge cable. Even though we are not done in any way, shape, well, I mean, we're pretty close. As long as this powers up, boots up, camera works, everything's functioning, it's just reattachment and taping it back together. But we don't know that yet, and we don't want to guarantee, or the one thing you never want to do is completely put everything back together and then find out that it's not working right, or that the camera's misaligned, or, you know, X, Y, or Z. Could be anything. So right now what I'm doing is I need to grab a charge cable because it is dead. I always try to work on them when they're not charged, because if they're charged, you have a better chance of hurting yourself. Can electrocute yourself. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that, typically. Close that up, stick that in there for now, and same with that. I still cannot believe I've never tried using floss to clean up an area like that. That worked out so well.
Did it work?
Yeah, but I need to get up now for a second. I have to grab a charge cable from my room.
No, so, alright, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you. I mean, maybe, but you'd have to climb on my bed, and that's not worth it. Alright. Yeah, alright, don't. Shit. Oh, hey. I didn't know I even had one of those on me somehow. Alright, give me one sec, guys. I just have to grab my charger. I only have one iPhone charger, and it's the one I use every day. I used to work on shit like this, and like my rule of thumb when it comes to tech, like repairs, I have a tool bag here that I use every day that I work, or I used to work on this stuff. My rule was I always had a double of everything. Like I always had a separate charge cable for my bag. I always had a separate, you know, everything had its own. I didn't have to, you know, share my stuff with my business stuff, was the mentality. Alright, let's plug it in. But unfortunately that no longer is the option when it comes to that cable. Well, battery, or I don't know if you can see it, the screen is powered on, battery's dead, but we have visual, which is good. So we're gonna start here. We gotta give it a minute for it to get at least some juice in it, and then it'll start up. As long, like I said, as long as everything's good, then I re-screw everything back down to hold everything in place where it's supposed to be. And the upside, I'll say, to iPhone is you actually screw the phone down, like you screw the screen on. iPods, you don't. You just kind of stick them down. And I don't love that part. They do have like clips on the side to hold them down, but I don't know. I'm very weary of them. I prefer when like you on an iPhone. Hold on. They're even you have to get a special tool to even work on them, which is that one I was showing earlier. All right, look. Here's the bottom of my iPhone 7. Right here and there on the opposite sides of the charge cable, there's both screws. So when you take off the screen and then you pop the screen up. Once you're done, you put it back down and you screw this back in, so your screen will stay locked in. Whereas when you do it, when you do it with iPhone or iPods, they just kind of sit in. What's up, babe? Let me look at. I don't want to like push everything down too hard, because then it'll... Alright, it's still trying to charge. I needed to check that. What's up, honey? How art thou? Just about done. Hopefully. I just need this to get at least some sort of charge into it, and then we can move forward. Oh, I'm cutting it close. I got an hour, or I have 40 minutes until I have to let her know if her iPod works or not. I'm like, it works, I think, but I don't know. I have to check it. I have to check, big things that I look for. I gotta check the front camera, back camera, speaker, volume rocker, power on top, home button. As long as it has the basic functionality, then I'm safe, but... Oh, come on! I must have really killed this fucking thing. It's like dead. Unless it's not charging. Let me plug it straight into my PC. I was charging it through my keyboard. My keyboard has like a charge port on it, which isn't a problem, but it doesn't give nearly as much power as if I throw it straight into the computer itself. Should boot up faster too. More flow. You're like, pierogies delicious. Cracking me up, babe. Hopefully it boots up soon, because I want to be able to test it and show you guys what or come up to with a decision here. Sometimes it'll boot up by itself too, which is kind of... So how is everybody's Friday so far? I got killed by someone on their period? What? On Fortnite? How do you know that? That's a very specific, knowledgeable statement. I'm gonna try to boot it. Hold up. I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that it's not ready. It's still too dead, maybe. What's up, Elephant? How you doing, man? I'm doing a sort of teaching lesson. Well, I wasn't planning on it, but then I had to fix this today, or finish it, hopefully, for a friend. So I figured I would go through and teach people. Oh, their name was I Am On My Period, something like that. That's pretty good. So my buddy's sister had a busted iPod, and when I went to fix it, I got it all done, and then I realized the battery was warped. I can show it to you here. This battery here. This is the first iPod we worked on, but you can see that the battery itself is kind of crinkled. It's all like chewed up, eaten up, kind of fucked up. So the battery cells in it are shot. On top of it, it had a cracked screen, but I noticed that when I would go to charge it, it went like 16, 32, 46, 70, like and it was like seconds. It was flying up the charge list. I was like, that's weird. So I pulled it off the charger, and it discharged that fast. It was like 70, 64, 30, and it was like dead in like 2 seconds. So I told her I was like, I can look into fixing it. Well, to repair a damaged iPod battery, you have to solder the battery, and I don't know how to solder correctly. I know like how to solder. I just have never done soldering, and I would never want to learn on someone else's tech, no matter what. I'd rather just go buy a shitty piece of like hardware I could buy at a crack converter, which is what I call cash converters. It's a pawn shop nearby. Or sort of, not really a pawn shop, but it's a like, it's an easy way to make money. You go sell your shit there for like 10% of what it's worth, and then you have some cash. So anyway, I would go do it that way. So we talked about it for a little bit, and then a couple of days later, oh, we got power. A couple of days later, my buddy says, hey, she broke her other iPod that she dropped on her floor, and she'd rather you save the screen that I bought for the first one and put it on this. And I said, sure, and I haven't really had any time to work on it, and she's leaving to go on a vacation today, and she's like, hey, can you have it done at all? And I was like, well, I'll see what I can do. I didn't want to promise. I was like, and she said, can you let me know by 1:30? It is 12:54, so I have half an hour to finish it. I just got the screen on. I got all the battery. Everything's set up. Right now, all I got to do is make sure that it powers on. The front camera works, the back camera works, the charge port works. As long as the tech on it, the speaker, the rockers, or the volume rockers, the top button, you know, check the peripherals. I can then rescrew everything back into the system. We can put some adhesive on the screen, pop that motherfucker together, and give her the good news. So, two things first. I already know the USB port works because it charged and it connected to my PC. So now, I gotta make sure before I go showing everybody. Okay, yep, so the screen's there. We have a screen. Right to left works, up and down works. That's fine. Left and left. Oop, hold on. This is something that I always check for. See, something isn't right because it's like clicking its own stuff. Oh wait, hold on. I might know what this is. It might be because it's feeling pressure from the back panel. Right? Ah, motherfucker, that hurt. These get really, really finicky, so you gotta watch. Like, I have to touch it while it's not touching anything else, because it's like it'll sense me touching the outside edge of this, and that can set it off. There is some issue though. I can see this weird box. Alright, so we still have some issues because it won't let me tap on anything. And it'll do it on the bottom. Alright, so we do have some issues still. And like you can see, it's just starting, you can see how it's like touching itself and doing all sorts of weird buttons and shit. Alright. Interesting, the top isn't working either. So we have a couple of tech problems. Let me see, volume rocker isn't working. Downside is now I can't shut it off because for some reason the power does not seem to, we could have some bigger issues here. Oh, the fucking camera came off again. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. So this sometimes is the downside. Like one big thing is I can't turn off the battery, which blows, and like that in and of itself is annoying. And I can't really just shut it off. I don't want to short out the motherboard or anything. Damn, this is a issue because it's at like 12% battery, and I can't shut it off, and it won't turn the fucking screen off. Motherboard's hot because of the CPU, and I can't really do much with that. Oh, maybe it's dead? Oh. Good, it might have killed the battery. Which is what I needed it to do. Alright, let me get my little desk here. Alright. So, let's take this back up. Where is some of the stuff I need? Let's grab this. And this. What do we need? We need this. We need these. Alright, current things we need. We need to see if we can get the battery back up. Let's pop this antenna because we don't need that while we do this. Yep. Well, I found one problem. The volume rocker I got fixed. That was not connected fully. That was that problem. Now, as for the power, I'm still unsure why it did what it was doing. I almost want to pop the whole panel off. I don't want to have to unscrew the bottom so that I can get around this easier, but at the same time I kind of want to. It doesn't make sense why doesn't seem to work. Let me text her quick just to see if I can get an answer. Because the things that, I mean, the bar across the screen and it touching and doing its own stuff can sometimes just be a loose connection to the motherboard. So I can always reconnect them, or separate them and reconnect them, but I think at this point, let's just fucking do this, like, let's pull this off, do it, get it done, test it, get it closed, because I want this fucking thing taken care of. And we only have a short amount of time, so if I can get this fixed, she's leaving at 2, I can tell her to grab it on our way by while going to the beach. That's weird. That one speaker screw is bent. Hold on, let me check. I think that's Tay. I want to check that text, but. One sec. Alright, so who's excited for fucking Spider-Man later on? I played a little bit last night on stream, and I was rather impressed so far. I think that it has smooth transitions, which is good. It may not have looked like it was last night, but that was probably more my issue because I was learning how to play versus it. Not much of a fan of Spider-Man. Have you are you a fan of Batman or any like the Batman games? Because if you are, I think you'll still dig this Spider-Man. It's definitely it's just a Batman game in my opinion. Like the fighting style. It's very, you know, shoot for combos, jump or dodge this guy to hit that guy kind of thing. And it fills out pretty well. None of the superhero ones? No. I'm sorry. I hope that you still are consider watching it. It's kind of cool. The story is actually interesting so far too. Like you don't look like any of the ones that you know, but it's the person that or the version of everything that you are is like from the comics. And my favorite part was Stan Lee had his own cameo in it. Like they do in the movies. Which just makes it even funnier. Good thing I have extra parts. I just lost the screw. Which ricocheted off the fucking bottom. Alright. That's okay though. That happens. Pop that back, pop that back. Okay. Like I said, I'm kind of done with dicking around, so let's get this all functioning correctly. Yeah, it was, Sorori, welcome to the stream. How you been? I don't know if this... Let me pop all of these ribbon cables off and just do them again. I'd rather do it again and retest and see if that... Maybe I just don't have them in. Because sometimes ribbon cables will sit on and look and act like they are connected correctly, but they won't be. So that'll irritate me if that's the whole problem, but you know, it is what it is. Oh shit. I have one of my tools stuck to it. You're interesting. That's, well, shit. Ain't got much to say there on that. You're like, I'm fucking interesting, bitch. Let's flip it this way and see if we can connect it correctly. So This needs to go on this one. That is on. That snapped on, so that makes me feel good. Now this one. That one is on. Secured. My life is very good. It's busy. Always trying to keep on keeping on, right? So yeah, I mean it's good, man. It's good. I wanted to try to teach some guys stuff today because I had to work on this anyway, and I figured why not. So I was gonna do it while I live streamed, and then live stream this, and then we'll be doing some Spider-Man after. Yeah, bitch. Oh, you bitch. Oh, that's all back where it's supposed to be. So I like want to re-secure some of these so that it doesn't pop out on me while I'm trying to work on stuff. I did see that, Sorori. Are you in a spot in which you are safe? I would hope. I'm fine, but 9 people died. How close are you to everything where you are? If you don't mind me asking all that, I'm just curiosity's sake. I'm glad to hear you're safe though. Nah, you're sad? Understandably so, my friend. You're not in this you're in a very scary situation, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to fully secure this, I just need this secured enough that it won't separate from the bottom while I'm working. Alright, buddy, I'm gonna be on again. Like, I'm streaming later on today still. I'm gonna be on at 3 o'clock. We're gonna start streaming games. Whether this is done or not, because that's normal stream time. This is just bonus stuff while I was working, and I figured it would be fun to show. Alright, That's in, that's in, that's in. So let's reconnect these ribbon cables. Alright, so we have to get 2 more ribbon cables attached and then reattach the antenna. And it's very awkward placement for all this shit, but so I'm sorry if I'm like up all over it in like weird angles and stuff trying to get this to reconnect, but I have to like everything's that's why I don't like fixing these, because it's all upside down, like, and it's backwards to get this all to connect. So I need to like hold 7 things so that I can connect a couple cables. Alright, I got that one on. Yeah, what's up, Tyler? I'm doing a little IRL bonus stream teaching people how to fix some random stuff. I had to fix an iPod today for a friend's sister, and I figured why not try to show you guys something that I know in school. Or, well, I went to school for, and then did for a while before I got hurt. It's also helping me keep up on my practice, because if you don't do this enough, you kind of forget how things function, and keeps your brain moving. Because I have to troubleshoot. Like we've already had one, like, now we're troubleshooting now. We ended up getting the main problem. It was a cracked screen. But with any cracked screen, there's always some more damage that sometimes happens. So now, what I'm currently doing is trying to reconnect some ribbon cables to the motherboard, so that we can boot it back up. And if we can get this last, oh, that might have worked. Oh, feels connected. Feels like it clicked, so that's good. Motherboard is reconnected. Now we have to reconnect the antenna cable here. By the way, I didn't mention I'm on a time restraint for this. I'm trying to get it done. It's like I said, it's from my friend's sister, and she's leaving to go to the beach in about 15 minutes. She wanted me to let her know if it worked or not, and I'm trying to let her know it's done. Reconnected, reconnected, reconnected. Trying to get the camera in now and staying where it is. The cameras suck. Once you take them off their original adhesive, I hate having to reattach any camera. Like front facing, I should say. Rear facing cameras aren't that bad, but front facing below, because they don't fucking stay. Even though I have adhesive attaching it, it'll keep, anytime I fucking move anything, it pops off. What happened, Kali? Yeah, just early today. I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna go live. Normal time. 3 o'clock. No matter if I'm done or not, is we go back to the stream. But all right, let me just think before I reconnect, because then we have to just assume it's up. All ribbon cables are reconnected. Antenna's connected. Charge port has 1 power. That. Everything should be functioning. Boots up. We have a screen. So, for those of you that weren't here earlier, this is the original screen. I have tape over it because when you pull these off, if you put tape over it, you don't get shattered glass in your fingers, but you can see where it was broken. This is the original screen. So, new screen works, not broken, but we were having more issues with, like, the touch sensor's not working right, some of the buttons not functioning, so. Alright, dude, I'm off to bed. I'll catch your stream tomorrow. See you later, Tyler. Have a good one. And Kali, I'm sorry, man. Yesterday, I got so fucking tired of it, I almost thought about never playing Fortnite again. I hated it. I played it for fucking... Jesus, I don't know. 10 hours? And the whole time was fucking painful. Well, it's already feeling like it's working a little easier. It like does and then doesn't. It won't let me click it. Wait. Have you done other streams on this? I have about 3 phones that are smashed, but I don't know how to do stuff. This is my first time trying it on stream. Like, that's why it's kind of janky and not working 100%. Or it doesn't look perfect. But no, I haven't. But I can do them. I know how to fix most phones. Left side of the screen is dead. I think that's the issue. I can see it, yeah. That looks like it's our issue. Alright, so I can show you guys here. So we have a issue with the screen. I'm gonna have to see if I'm gonna have to let her know the bad news, but I think I'm gonna have to try to see if they'll replace it. You can see if I move anything on the left side of this screen. If it doesn't work, none of these apps work. If we go to the right side, it lets me move back and forth. It lets me open up things over here, even here. The 6s work, but 5 doesn't. 8 doesn't. 9 does. I can't even clear it because... See, yeah. That's fucking strange. So the reason that this would work, this is a new screen too. So why would this happen? For those of you that are curious, realistically, it could be something with a pin on the screen. I have never used this screen before. Like the other iPod didn't even stay. I didn't fucking do anything with it because it was like dead right away. Which in all reality, with it being a busted battery, could have toasted something on the screen. I don't know. I'm gonna have to contact the manufacturer and see if they'll replace it because it didn't last. But yeah. So anything on the left side of the screen doesn't work. And wait, I just saw. There's even some lines in the screen. That's weird. Yep, well, that's unfortunate. I have to give her the bad news. At least that works. The top button works again. Volume rocker works. So yeah, it's just the screen is half dead. God damn it, man. What pisses me off is more the fact that this is the second time I fixed one of her iPods. It's not her fault or anything. It's just tech. Actually, it could be part of the motherboard though from being dropped, but realistically, the screen is defective, and if I'm being honest, that's not as uncommon as you'd imagine. If you do more, do some more stream on it, let me know. I might be able to fix my other friends. If people ask me questions or need help with it, I can do tutorial stuff like this. The only downside is I don't have the broken tech. Like, I have this. I'm trying to think if I have anything else that needs fixing. I can work on some laptops that I work on. I can do mutilation things, like I can fuck with some to try to make some stuff. Yeah, I mean, if people ask me for help, I can do it. If people honestly want me to do stuff and are willing to trust me, and send in the tech, so like somebody would say, like, let's say for example, you have 3 phones and you need one of them fixed. If you send me the phones and the replacement parts, I can do them, and I can teach people how to do it. And I won't charge for it. I can't imagine that I could, so. Well, shit, fuck. That's unfortunate. I really thought I had it this time, but it's not even like anything that we can change. It's something wrong with it. It makes sense why earlier it wasn't working correctly either. I have 3 laptops that I turn off one day and didn't turn on. See, and stuff like that, I'm always fascinated. I can usually figure out to a point what the issue is. Pretty good at stuff like that. Oops. Well, damn. This is the least favorite part now, is when I have to contact Amazon and be like, hey, something that was sold to me is defective. I also don't know how long it's been defective. Oh, fucking Christ. So this needs to go here, this is here. But like, I know a lot of people ask about like setup videos. Do you guys want to see what's in my toolbox? Or my tool bag? It's not a box, but I can show like what my bag's like if people are interested. I'll leave this together. That's an aluminum shield. I need to keep this in the order that it's in, so I don't want to fuck this up. Let me throw. Contact me, man. I could send a shit. Yeah, well, I have a PO box for the stream, and I use that for that. So, yeah, dude, if you want, I'd love to do something like that. Because doing stuff like this is a blast to me. I like fixing tech. It's something I'm passionate about. It's something I used to do all the time, but yeah, people send it to me. I'll work on it. We're gonna put all of this crappuccino in there. I need to save this because I might need to replace. Or, well, hopefully I can send and get a replacement because it was like 50 bucks. And I don't have the money to repair it myself, or replace it myself, I should say. This also are kind of toasted. We'll throw these. We'll throw that in there. We can throw this in here. So I don't know if you guys want me to. I can start the stream early if you guys want. I mean, I don't have anything else going on right now. After, like I said, if you guys want, I'll quick show you what my tool bag looks like. It's kind of a mess, but, I can show what's in it, because I think that's kind of interesting. Like, I have a lot of tools that I use to do what I do. People that haven't been here the whole stream are probably like, why is there floss all over? I tried a new tactic to get the battery unattached. If batteries will like get warped, it kills the cells. So I used floss to pull it up. Shit ton of broken tech. Just got new iPhone laptops because I didn't know how to fix them. 3 and about 4 phones. Yeah, dude. If you send them, I'll work on them. Be fun streams. And it's a challenge. Like, there's some, obviously, like, you can't fix them all. Sometimes it's just like it's not valuable, or it's not worth the cash to fix it. But all right, hold on. Let me quick show my tool bag. I'm not gonna go through each and every piece of it because it would take forever. But I can show you the drifts. We got it all set up and found out that the new replacement monitor, or the new replacement screen, the whole left side of it is defective. I can see some lines in it, and it does not have any touch sensitivity, but the whole right side works. So all of it is functional, except I need to replace the fucking screen. again. No, not green socks, purple socks. I like purple and green. So I'm gonna quick show before I probably end the stream. I said I would show my inside of my tool bag, just to give like a rough idea of what I have and what I carry around on a daily basis when I do the work I do. So, or when I used to do the work I do. So you already saw two of the things here. This is a 16-in-1 multi-screwdriver bullshit. I didn't care about all of them. Like I said, contact me sometime. I gotta go to bed. All right, no problem, Tyler. You have a good one. I showed you why I had this. I do have green and purple socks. I just took the green ones off today. I only needed one head drill or like tool head out of it, and it was that 3-bit or 3-prong from Apple. So that's the reason I own this. This is my first set. I bought this at a cheap place. It has torque heads, which are little stars, and I needed it because I needed it to open up a lot of game systems back in the day when I started. They use torque heads to try to, it used to deter people, now it's really easy to get them. I have a SteelSeries Sensei 310 mouse. Tay bought this for me back in the day when my Razer was acting weird. I use this as like when I go out to a job if I need a mouse, so I have an extra one. Plus I know where it is then. I have a wireless network adapter. This is an AC 1200 network adapter so that when I am at someone's house, if their network card doesn't work or they don't have an Ethernet cable, I have access to wireless internet whenever I am. This is really useful to keep. I got that pretty cheap at work back when I was there. I have a laptop. This is a Windows Lenovo 2-in-1 laptop that I use sometimes. I use this for business pretty much only. It is an Ultrabook. It is a Lenovo i5. I don't remember what gen. Honestly, does it say on the inside? I think it's a 5th gen. I think it's a 5th gen i5, like 256 solid state, 8 gigs of RAM. Touchscreen, floppy, I don't care. I bought it off John when I didn't have I didn't have anything new, and I bought this for like 500 bucks. It's a $1,000 laptop, so it was a good deal for me. This little gizmo, I use this a lot for when I'm working on iPads and stuff like that. You pop these, you put it in on whatever the surface is, and then you pull this, and it'll suction cup to the screen, and then it'll help me pull the screens off. They work unless you have them taped, then they don't work as well. That looks like it's a phone I was working on. Or something. Maybe? It has something in it. Oh, it's got a... Yeah, it has a smashed iPhone screen in it that it was from another job I'm working on. Sort of. It's a suction cup kind of holder. I have, without like digging everything out, I have a soldering gun in here, or a soldering stick. I have some snips, like tin snips, wire snips. They're really fucking useful. I bought them for, I only bought one. This is this is my my X-Acto blade set with one X-Acto knife missing because I once my buddy was into weird shit like animals and stuff and preserving them, so I cut a deer's eyeball out with my X-Acto knife and I preserved it for him because he wanted it, or it was a Christmas present or something, and I threw the blade out because it was fucking disgusting afterwards. I have an extra iPhone charger, or not iPhone, laptop, my Apple laptop charger in here. I carry this little gizmo. This is a crimp set, so out of it all, I only really use this little gizmo here. And what you do with this, well, first off, you pop this off. So if you ever want to make an Ethernet cable, you need something like this. So what you do is you take you get a Ethernet cable, like you buy a spool of like Cat 5, Cat 5e, Cat 6, whatever you need. And then you need crimp set heads, or heads, you know, what you would attach to your cable, what you plug into your device. You have to put the wires, you have to strip the cable down, so this is a cable stripper. It strips down your, it strips down your wire so that you can work at the inner cables. And then once you're done and you get everything set, you stick it in those right there and you crimp it, and then you can make cables. And I use this so that I can make custom Ethernet cables for however length I need, or if I need to, like I have one cable that runs into my room, and the little tabs snapped off both sides. The ones in my room and out here, so the cable will fall out a lot, and I can, if I feel like it, I've been too lazy, I can use this to I just cut off the old one and put a new one on. This is also an incredibly useful tool. This is an Ethernet test cable, or cable tester. So what you do is you plug an Ethernet, or by the way, you can, that also makes phone cables too. The correct terms for each one of them is RJ11 is the little adapter piece, what they're called. RJ11 is phone, and RJ45 is internet. So that is RJ11 and 45, which is the same as this. I can test both. But you separate these. You put this one on one end. You put this one on the other end. I doubt the batteries. Oh no, the batteries work. Here, I can show you. Where is it? I just had a fucking Ethernet cable in a bag. Because I'll show you how it works. Might as well teach you the right way. Here it is. Alright. So you would take one cable, plug it in here, and then go to wherever else in the house or wherever the other end is, plug it in here, turn it on. Alright, and you can see the sequencers here. So, at least I think you can. So, as it lights up, you only need to do up to the top 6. 7 and 8 really don't mean anything. But you can see that it goes down the line. And if you, let's say you're doing this and like 3 and 4 aren't working, then you know that this cable isn't functioning correctly. That's why you're not getting a good signal. These are really useful for long range. Like if you're doing it on a house or something like that, it'll save you time to test the cable, and then you can crimp it, make new ones. And it'll tell you which side isn't working. So like it'll tell you if 4 and 5 aren't working on one or the other. So they're fucking crazy useful for even the average everyday user. Like you don't have to be a tech guy to own one of these, and they're like $5 on Amazon. They're dirt cheap. Another tester I carry around that's useful for tech is a power supply tester. So like computers. If you need to check if the cable on your power supplies are functioning correctly, you put power into the power supply. Then you plug in your 20 to 24 pin connectors, your 8s, your 6s, all that stuff, and you can check the voltage to make sure that your power supply is functioning correctly. Because a lot of times when tech won't work, that's where your problem lies. I got wire strippers. I've got they call these jeweler's kits. But the precision screwdrivers, wow, I like melted the inside of my bag apparently, or melted the plastic in my bag. But they're just precision screwdrivers so that they're small, just make life easier when you're trying to go through shit. I carry, this is gonna be goofy, I can show you something. But I carry around solder, electrical tape, pens, pencils, all that bullshit. I carry around a deck of cards. And I want to see if I have any, so I can show you why I carry around a deck of cards. I don't know if there's any in here that are, I might have thrown them out. No. Okay, so the reason that you keep a deck of cards in any toolbox is for when I'm doing jobs like we were doing here today. When you are, I'm far from the mic? I'm like sitting right up on it. Let me move it closer, I guess. The reason that you keep around a deck of cards in your bag, I don't solder drifts, but I have a soldering gun and machine. I want to do soldering, I'm just not proficient enough in it to use someone else's. Yeah, exactly, drifts. Like when I was working on that screen earlier and I stuck the guitar pick in there, you can also use you can use cards. Because these are fucking nothing to stick in between. It'll just basically hold and give you a little bit, and you can slowly stick these in until it pries it up, and when they get fucked up you throw it out. So I'm proud of you, Drifts, that you knew that. That's a useful little trick that's cheap. You can buy a deck of cards for $1, so it's worth keeping it in your toolbox. So I pulled this out already, but I always keep a Ethernet cable. It doesn't have to be like crazy huge, but keeping an Ethernet cable in your bag just in case somebody else doesn't have stuff. Oh, I'm not insulting you. I'm impressed. Most people don't know that. I already showed you a fuckload of repair kits, or these repair tool bullshit kits that I think are kind of useless, but you keep them anyway. This here is something I actually got pretty. This was pretty entertaining for me, but earlier I said it was boring because I was sleepy. It's all right. Here's a bunch of tool. Just like I keep forgetting what the fuck are these called. Tweezers, like different variants. Straight ones, wide ones, angled, thin. Always useful for getting into the, like, if you drop a screw or you need to run a cable, or like we were using earlier, I was using it to literally close ribbon cables because my hands were too big for the spot. What else we got? I have Allen wrenches, which I think most people know what an Allen wrench is, but I'll show just for safety's sake. I have 3 different sets of these. Use Allen wrenches. This is more for, I don't run into Allen stuff much, but if you do need it, I have standard and metric. I keep them both in here, and they're just the big tools. So use those. They're pretty. I don't use them much, but I don't want to ever be stuck without it. I've got new and old charge cables for Android and iOS. I keep everything, as many cables as I can have that will fit even the most oldest of phones and bullshit, because you never know. Like, you could run into a fucking somebody's like, oh, I got a BlackBerry, and it's like, I don't have a specific cable. Now, for like some very niche things I don't have, you know, I can only do so much. But here's a very, very, very easy, useful thing. You need another computer for this to work. But do I have one in here? I might be able to show you with this. This is a hard drive dock. So a hard drive dock, you can plug 1 or 2 hard drives in this, and you can leave this on your desk and function. What it'll do is you plug a hard drive in, or SSD, either way. You found a BlackBerry on the beach? You're probably throwing it away. Yeah. I'll also lead to the fact that I carry around an extra. This is not a 2 terabyte. I think it's a terabyte. Maybe. Oh, it's a 500 gig. This is just an extra hard drive that I keep in my bag, just in case I'm in someone's house and their like shit breaks. You do is you take the drive, plug it on in. You take a USB or SATA, but nobody uses that, and the power. Plug it in. Hit this little switch. It will power it on, and it'll let your computer see this hard drive. Now, there's 2 reasons that this is helpful. One, you can leave it like that, and you can just have an extra hard drive sitting on your desk instead, and you can kind of hot swap. You can just pull them out, pop another one in, and you have another hard drive. I don't like that idea because you're leaving it exposed. Like, I don't like that you're leaving the back of it out and whatnot. But what's useful is you can plug another hard drive in, and you can transfer the data from one hard drive to the other. So instead of, like, when you're getting a new computer, if you want to take all of your old info and just straight transfer, these are what they use. Toaster for drives, kind of. So I have an older one. This is only a 2.0. I would love to get a 3.0. They're like $35. It's not like it's the end of the world to buy one, but I keep them around. I actually have used that probably almost the most out of everything in here, is transferring drives. Also, like I said, 500 gig hard drive, because why not? Charger for my laptop. I cannot show you that because that might get me in trouble. I have screwdrivers and like basic, nothing fancy, just and some torque head screwdrivers, but just, you know, standard stuff you would use to fix a computer. Regular screwdrivers. Lightly magnetized, enough that it would hold on to screws and stuff, but not much more. Let's see what else we got here. Another fucking... I'm telling you, I have like hundreds of these. I should do a giveaway of just fucking repair kits. This is weird. These are computer jumpers. Rocco was working on a laptop, or he's building his computer, and he bought a bag, and he bought like 25 of these things. And you never, ever, ever really need these. But sometimes they go bad. They're jumper caps. You stick them on certain prongs in your computer, and it will let it function. If you don't have a jumper, sometimes it won't let the computer start. And I just he gave them to me, so I hold on to them because I know one day I'll need it. this is interesting. These are coax, which is like cable, like regular like TV cable and stuff. They're coax connectors, some extenders, and a splitter. Very rarely will I ever need this, but I have cable for my internet, so sometimes I need it if I need to split stuff. What else we got in here? The fucking thing I was looking for earlier that shouldn't be on this side. This is a professional spudger tool that I really, really like. It's like the tits. I actually went out of my way to buy this one. It's it more looks like a dentist tool. So you see that? But these are really useful for, I would have used that on that phone, or the iPod, but fortunately I didn't find it. How does one spell what? Coax? C-O-A-X. It's because it's actually coaxial, so it would be C-O-A-X-I-A-L is what the whole thing is, but I just call them coax cables. Most people that call them that know what they are. But that's basically my toolbox. So it's not like it's, I mean, it's a lot of shit. I'll be honest, like you carry around a lot. Sometimes you don't need all of it. Sometimes you don't need any of it. I've gone to jobs and never had to open up my bag. Sometimes it's as easy as just like a software issue that the person has. Thank you, Mitch. God damn it, can't talk. Some of it's just bullshit, you know, like jumpers. I will actively know I'll probably never need all of those CPU jumpers or computer jumpers, but you know what I mean? That one day I might need it. It's worth having. So I'm going to, I'll pack this up quick. But yeah, it's as useless as some of it is. To other parts, it'll save your day. Like I can go out on a job and my laptop has been a savior some days. Sometimes it's fucking that crimper so I can make cables. Sometimes it's that deck of cards I have in there. The Wi-Fi adapter, like everything I have in here has a purpose. And understand that I didn't just get this all overnight. Like I've built this toolbox over years of stuff. Like it was, some of it was given to me. When I first started going to school for this, my grandfather at the time had bought me the screwdrivers and stuff, just the like regular first set. Everything else I bought myself. You know, I started off in a a bucket, an old like 5-gallon bucket is what I used to use as a toolbox, and I worked my way up. I bought this bag. I started using it. Now there's things like this. How big is that box? It's fucking huge, by the way, and it weighs a lot, but it's pretty big, you know. But now I use things like this. This is a tool that I really, really always wanted. The Geek Squad used to use these. I can take this on a job and probably get away with everything. So one thing it has, or what it does, it's just for screwdrivers, but you can pop whatever size, it locks in place. You can use whatever screw. Also, it has a flashlight on the one side, the side that you're working on, so that you can see when you're working, you can see what you're doing, or it has a bigger flashlight for if you just need to look. And then when you're done with that screwdriver, you flip it down, lock it in place. It also has a set over here, which is why I really like it, with itty bitty stuff right here. So you can use this to fix almost anything. Like, and you can carry it around. It's really small. It's a lot easier. I can take this on a job than having to take all of this, and 9 times out of 10 I'm able to get away with what I need. Did I fix it? Sort of. Did I fix the iPod? Yes. The issue is the screen is defective, the new one. Half the screen is dead, the other half works. So now I have to contact Amazon and see if they'll give me a replacement screen, or if I have to buy another one. I really hope I don't have to buy one, because I will feel obligated to pay for it myself, because you know, I worked on it. So, but I seen a dispenser screwdriver type of thing. I love these things, man. I'm like addicted to this shit where I can just easy tools. Easy tools that make my life easy, fast. Is this still gonna go till Spider-Man? Probably not. I think I might call it maybe until like... I thought about starting early. Or maybe I'll take an hour, go get lunch or something, and then come back. Start at 3. But I figure I'll finish it off in 10 minutes. I just wanted to show you guys what I had. It's unfortunate because I really was excited that I was going to get this done for her. And then it's like, you get so far, you get really into it. I had fun showing the stream how I work on stuff. Was the new one half working? Yeah, the new one's the one that's half working. When we turned it on and booted it, the left side of the screen would function and the right side wouldn't. Let me just put this on webcam. So yeah, because I was like, why? It was when I first connected everything and I plugged it in, it was hitting its own buttons. So I'm like, all right, that means that probably the connector isn't fully secured, so we have to redo it. Oh god. So I pulled it all apart. I had to I had to pull the battery out, which I didn't want to do. No, it's new, Drifts. Dead on arrival or like half dead or half functioning stuff, when it comes to screens, it's not all that uncommon. I've had it happen 3 times. That's 3 now that I've had it happen myself over the years of fixing stuff, buying new screens and whatnot. Sometimes it just happens. When you buy tech like that, sometimes they just, you know what I mean? I'm trying to like get my hair moving so it's not just stuck to me. But yeah, it was it's just unfortunate because I really did want to get that ready for her. She's been waiting, and you know I can't help it. Is that because of the deliveries at random? It's sometimes just random. My hair is colorful. Yeah, it's green and purple. The green's a little fucked up because my purple has like dyed part of it like brown now or weird. I have to go get it redone, but eventually. It's $100 to get it done, so I always wait. But yeah, it's sometimes it's random. Sometimes it didn't have any delivery damage, so it should be safe, or it should have been okay. I didn't see anything that was like, oh shit, it's fucked up. But that's life, man. I just feel bad because I know she wanted it. I do have to let her know that. Oh, not really. Let's see. But I have bad news. Discovered that the new screen only works on the right app. Contact Amazon for a replacement. I'm so sorry. $100 is a month working as a waiter in Albania, and you spend it on dyeing your hair. Yeah, but like where I come from, we have a lot more money, but things are expensive. It's not like it's all cheap. Is that what? Oh, my hat? This is a Smile More hat. I don't know. It's just regular camo. This is not my only. I have another. I have a Talon hat, one from Talon Sai. But his is a flat bill snapback, and I look stupid wearing it, so I don't wear it as much. Oh, my phone case. Oh fuck, I don't know. It's yeah, I guess it is more of a digital-ish. Okay. I don't even remember. My phone case was camo. I've dyed my phone case purple, the edges, because of my hair and my fingers get purple on them. But do I like Roman Atwood? Yeah, I used to watch him literally every day. Now I don't get to watch it as much. But yeah, I have a Smile More sweatshirt, t-shirt. This is the third hat of his I bought. I bought one for Taylor, then I bought one for me, and then this is actually they got like ones that were fucked up, and I kept the fucked up one because it was like $10 and I gave Tay the good one. But I actually have another YouTuber. I have a couple of YouTubers stuff. I have a Demolition Ranch shirt. I don't know where that is. Oh, there was that. I don't know where my shirt is from him. I got this. I like hats. But I also have these. Yeah. This I can't even wear this. This is my Demolition Ranch hat. This is one of the first ones that they came out with, and I bought it. It was right before he switched over to the new stuff, but I can't wear it because my head is too big, and it like squishes my head. So I don't wear this hat. And then this is actually, this has a fun story to it. So this is Talon size hat. Literally his. I went to that 100K party that I told you guys about. You guys know I went to it, and I was wearing my first Smile More hat, the one I bought. And we were drunk, and I told him to not sell out all of his camo, once he sells out his stuff, he never remakes it. He only does it one run. I said, don't sell out of your camo. I still want one. And he took this one off his head, threw it at me, and said, give me yours. And I gave him my Smile More hat, and he said I could have it back, but I told him I'd get it eventually. But yeah, this is my T-side hat, but I look stupid. I only wear it backwards because I don't look good wearing hats forward anyway. Any hat, but I look like a douchebag if I wear my flat-brimmed hat like this. So I used to just wear it backwards all the time. Are any of my guns camo? Yes, actually, one of them. Wait, yeah, the hunting rifle I take every year is. I would show it to you, but I don't know where it is. Being honest, I think it might be in a gun case underneath my bed. I don't keep that one out because it's a muzzle loader. All my other stuff is not camouflage though. It's just as is. Probably mostly because I would camo out a gun. I've considered camoing out other stuff. Curved hats forward is a sporty look. Do I have guns? I have tons of guns, dude. Yeah, but I still look stupid. I don't like myself with forward hats. I've only ever... Any comp guns? Compensated, or do you mean competition? I always wear my hat backwards. You look like a trucker with that. Yeah, I have a Bowling for Soup hat. That was one of my favorites. Tay bought me that when we went to the concert. When I went to see them. But no, I have tons of guns. Eljo. I got a 1911 Glock competition now. I'm not a competition shooter. At most maybe my everyday or carry my Glock. Model 22C. It's a 40 caliber compensated. That's like the closest because it's compensated. But like my Judge isn't. My 1911 definitely isn't. Both Glocks. Those are my handguns. Oh, I always forget about my Ruger. I have a Ruger P89, but I let Tay have it for the most part. It's at her house. Yeah, Eljo, I've been working my ass off to get this fucking channel to keep going, and we've been fighting for like 3 weeks to hit 30 or 3,500, and I'm literally giving away a game at 3,500. I just can't seem to get people to come or stay. All right, let me get everything ready. Like I said, I'll call the stream in 3 minutes. Just we can dick around. Like we're hanging out, and I kind of like this part. Just sitting here shooting the shit. Like I'm not stressed to do anything specific. We're just talking. Any revolvers? Yeah, my Judge, the one that shoots shotgun shells, drifts. It's a 45 long Colt and 410 shot shells. I did all the work.
Good.
And the fucking new screen is half dead. No. It's a dead screen.
Oh, wow.
So I just texted her and I'm like, hey, so I did it and I got it and it's fucking dead and it's not my fault.
Wow.
I can't believe I had never thought about using floss though. That worked out really well. apart from that, I don't have any other revolvers, no. My family does. My dad does, but your mom has a cool phone case? Did my mom even have a phone in her hand? Were you carrying your phone?
My phone?
Just now? Sure says your mom has a cool phone case, but... Oh, you were holding mine. Yeah, that's my Note 5. Should have sold it, yeah. Yeah, it's my old phone. I let her use that one to stream stuff on the TV.
Alright, I'm gonna change my shirt and go get your pills.
I'm going to call the stream for an hour. Because it's 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm done for what I was doing, so I'm gonna take an hour, eat lunch and shit, and then...
Okay.
And then stuff, but... She see your phone case. You're slick, dude. That was quick. Oh, man. Well, we're coming up on 2. Like I said, I'm going to call it just for an hour so I can go get food. And set up for Spider-Man, so I'll switch over the thumbnails and names and all that bullshit. But yeah. I know this was completely fucking out of nowhere. Like, it's not normal for me to have done a stream like this where I just kind of did work on stuff and it was IRL and nothing too hardcore or anything. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I know that Tyler said he has a bunch of stuff he would love to see me try to work on, and I don't mind doing this. I'd like to get a better setup with a horizontal tripod so that I could post it. How you saw Rufus. Collie, remind me when I start the stream up. I'm going to be done for an hour so I can go get some lunch and then start up the official 3 o'clock stream. But give me a heads up and I'll have Rufus come. Well, hold on. Rufus! 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 Come here, you shithead. Come here. Come here. Somebody wants to see you. Can you sit? Can you sit? There's a good boy.
Yeah, but they can't see you.
Yeah, they can.
Come on, bud. Come on, over here. Right here.
Yeah, they see. See?
Come on. Can you see it?
Hey,
You're so handsome.
you're a goober. So there you go, Collie.
Right.
He'll stop by. He likes to walk by and run into me. So, Aiden, I was just finishing up this little like bonus stream. I'm gonna stop the stream for an hour, go get some food, and then start up the 3 o'clock stream like normal. Already, just a heads up, we're doing Spider-Man because I'm ape shit about it. So, but there you go. You got to see Rufus. Rufus is my buddy. I love him dearly. He's kind of the best dog. So, but all right, guys, thank you for hanging out. If you guys enjoyed the new thing I tried out, where I actually tried to teach you guys something during a stream instead of just playing video games, give me a heads up. Let me know if you want me to, if you want to see me fix more stuff. Like, I did an iPhone, or I have iPhones that I might be able to finish. That's a little bit harder. That one's pretty fucked up. But like, I can work on tech. If you guys need stuff fixed, I'd be willing to do it on stream if you guys send it to me with the specific stuff I need to fix it. So I'll see you guys in an hour. I love you all, and I will see you all in the next one.